Mamma, ihive you can send me back. The mailor there breathed a skid. The cowboy answered, my son already chose you. Dustfield Station, New Mexico territory. Summer 1891. The westerns bore down like yardmen. A chimera of the dirt tracks athwart the distant horizon. Dazzling in the air, secando moving, panting everything in a permanent shadow of roost. Dustfield Station was no place for gentility, not with its peeling sinks, warped floorboards, and the stench of sweat and old whiskey clinging to the walls. Horse always clacked against the boards outside. Men cursed loudly in between sweeps from battles. Laughter, man and sharp, could throw the air like barbed wire. When the train hissed to a stop, its metal wheels grinding against the tracks, only a few passengers disembarked. Most were men, rail workers, traders, a prospector or two. And then, from the very last car, stepped a woman, May Hollis. Her dress, once cornflower blue, was dulled by suit and days of travel. Them was fraud, her gloves smoothed, her boots dusty, but she's too strut, her chin a leak. One hand clutched a woven bell, the other rested lightly over the letter, folding neatly in the pocket near her ear. She took her first step onto the platform, and the atmosphere shifted. Voices hushed, eyes turned. A few men near the frack crowds looked her over too slowly. One of them laughed, nudging the other with a battering hand. Malebride, snorted. Poor soul don't know what is walking into. Rebecca ignored them. Vate Steen sat beneath her skin. The only other women inside were leaning against the saloon porch, corset tight, faces panted, eyes tired. One of them glanced at Rebecca and gave her a long quiet look, out warning, out pity, before turning away. Rebecca said big harder. Still, her steps did not falter. She serried the faces, looked for someone holding a sign or tipping a hat, looked for him, but there was no one. Then a voice, deep, low, hesitant, could throw the noise behind her. Rebecca Hollis. She turned. The man standing a few feet away was tall, some brunette, with a hard look of someone who said to silence. Weston Tate. His shoulders were wide beneath a dusty coat, his hat shadowing his eyes. It looked like the land itself, carved, weathered, and quiet. His gazelle hairs a moment tall on. He never sent for a breather, except. His voice was rough, slow, almost pant. Rebecca blinked once. She did not look away. Her breath held fast, even as her stomach twisted. Slowly, she reached into her pocket and pulled out the letter, the very one that had brought her across the country. She didn't wave it in his face. She simply held it, then said in a voice clear enough for the crowd to hear, "You can send me back." The words landed like a stone dropped in still water. The murmurs began again. Some sneered, some turned away. One man let out a low whistle, but in another voice, "Esmal, unsteady, pure, Miss Rebecca." A voice stepped out from behind the wagon. Barely 4, blonde curls tousled, boots too big for his feet. His cheeks were flushed, his eyes wide. He didn't run to her. He didn't speak again. A youth walked up beside her, then stepped in front of her, standing between her and the crowd. His small arm stiff as his seat like a coat protect her. Weston stared fierce at Rebecca, then at the boy, Tommy. It all came together in an instant. The envelope, the writing, the name signed at the bottom. His son, his boy had sent that letter. Weston exhaled slowly. He looked at the faces gathered around, then back at Rebecca. Sham flicked through him, but also something else, something steadier. He didn't reach for her. He didn't apologize. Instead, he lifted his head and said firmly, "My son already chose you." Unused like that, in the eyes of the town, the matter was settled. And they clamped her out of love, but clamped her allesamme. A few hours after the confrontation at the station, Dustfield's slow-moving streets were sick with whispers. Nothing drew out the townspeople like the arrival of an unexpected woman, especially one who had been clamped in public, yet walked away alone. Rebecca did not read back to the ranch with Weston. He had not offered and Sai had not asked. A cold nod. Not with the town watching. Not with eyes peering out from behind curtain windows and voices already spinning stories faster than through cold travel. Even Weston Tate, with his calm certainty and Bruty's sense of right, didn't know what came next, and until it did, a volunteer risk bringing her into his home under a cloud of speculation. The town split quickly into camps. Some said she must be his wife now after such a declaration, and they ought to bring her home or risk jam. Others insisted she was a con artist, a woman from the East, here to trick a grieving widow into surrendering his land. Still others, mostly older women and drifters, simply didn't want the disruption. They didn't like how she dressed, how she herself, how she refused to wield. Too proud for a malorder girl, one woman whispered. Too polished. In the face of all that noise, Weston did what I believe was decent. He ran for Rebecca to stay at the only room available in town, a narrow second floor lie above the Dustfield Saloon. It was not a place for a lady, but there were no boarding houses, and no homes willing to take her in. A pal in advance and gave her the key without comment. The room was cramped, the window cracked, the bed narrow. The zinc walls did nothing to muffle the sounds below. Piano notes struck too hard, laughter too loud, boots stamping, amber stew scrapping until long past midnight. Rebecca said nothing. She did not cry. She did not accuse. She unpacked her few things with silent dignity and placed letter, the one that brought her here, on the table by the window. Then she sat in the only chair in the room and looked down at the street below, where men stumbled out of a saloon and shouted to the night. She kept the oil lamp burning later. It glowed like the faience behind the glass. Down below, Weston did not read the home. Instead, he borrowed a horse from the sheriff under some baggage anteated up beside the saloon. Then he took a seat on the bench under the overhang. Used far enough to stay drive ran. Used close enough to see the light from her window. He did not go upstairs. He did not speak to anyone. A youth sat there, backstrap, arms resting on his knees, eyes fixed on the second floor. He watched the lamp flicker. He listened to the town go quiet, and he did not leave until the light went out closer to dawn. The next morning, Rebecca opened her door and stepped out onto the cracking landing. Below her, the bench where Weston sat was empty now, but a rough wooden chair sat nearby, dragged up during the night. Each chair was worn smooth, and when she touched it, it was still fondly warm. She looked at it for a long time, and te come to comfort her, and te promise her safety or affection, and te said a single word, but a staff. And in Dustfield, that meant more than most men's declarations. Rebecca stepped back inside, closed the door behind her, and let the morning sun fall across her face. She was still a woman without a title, still adrift in the eyes of the town, but she was not alone. And for now that was enough. The courthouse in Dustfield was little more than a single-room annex beside a chapel with cracking benches and windows that let in too much and unto little breeze. But on that day it felt like the center of the world. The room was packed. Men who never spoke to one another in town now stood shoulder to shoulder, arms crossed, faces unreadable. Women found themselves in the back pews, their eyes sharp, their whispers sharper. Even the preacher stood near the door, arms folded, lips pressed in, and at the front of it sat Rebecca. She sat alone, hands gripping the edge of her chair, knuckles gritted beneath her gloves. Her back was straight, her chin lifted, but the slightest tremble in her fingertips betrayed the weight of the movement. On the table before the town concealed lay a single sheet of paper, yellowed and folded. The seal alone since crumbled away. One of the concealment, a gaunt man with a sore mouth and a loud voice, tapped the letter with his knuckle. This, he declared, is what brought her here. A letter written under the name of Weston Tate. He unfolded it careful and slow, like unveiling a crime. Then he read it aloud. My poe is real sad. I think he needs someone who can smile big. If you come, maybe I smile again. The words written in shaky, childish print filled the room like thunder. Some folks chuckled under their breaths. Others turned away, uncomfortable. The councilman continued, voice cold, here lies a deception. A woman was summoned under false pretense, creating unrest in this town. It is our duty to determine whether that deception was accidental or criminal. He folded the letter again, placed it back on the table, and looked toward Weston. No one called on Tommy. But outside the nearest window, used behind the glass, a small face appeared. Tommy stood quietly on his toes, his little hands resting on the sill. His eyes round and solemn, watched every word, his breast far in the corner of the glass. E didn't speak, e didn't move. Instead, Rebecca turned her head slightly, used a nod to catch Weston in her periphery. He was sitting still as always, but his fingers tapped against his leg, a quiet, unconscious rhythm. Then slowly stood. No one stopped him. He walked to the front of the room, boots twin against the wooden floor. He didn't look at Rebecca. He didn't look at the crowd. He looked only at the letter. And then spoke. The letter carries my name. He said, "That's a no. He accepted fault." A rooster moved through the crowd. "You admit one of the concealment are scared to misleading this woman." "He admit the letter wasn't under my name," Weston replied, voice low but firm. "And he accept what comes with that." Another man leaned forward. "Even if it cost you your reputation, your trade, your standing in this town, Weston's answer was calm. She came here in good fight. That deserves honor, not punishment. The verdict came after a harsh discussion. Weston will pay a fine. More than that, he will be suspended from all cattle trading and sales within the region for 6 months. An enormous loss for a rancher in the height of season. Weston nodded once, then he turned to the room, gas level, steady. "She don't go," he said. "I do." And with that, he walked back to his head, sat down, and folded his hands. He didn't glance at Rebecca, but she was already looking at him. No one clapped, no one spoke because they all understood. And they donated for love. He donated because it was right. Because she deserved someone to stand, even when the ground shook beneath them. Rebecca did not speak to Weston after the town hearing, not out of anger toward him, but out of shame toward herself. She had walked into Dustfield on her own 2 feet, carrying her story, her choice, and her name. Yet, when it mattered, someone else stood for her. Someone attacking the weight, the judgment, the cost, and that left a task in her mouth she could not swallow. So the next morning, without a word to anyone, she left the saloon room and walked east of town toward the mining camp. No stage coaches went that way, no carriages, only rickety wagons and mule trucks through dry scrub and loose rock, but she walked it al same. At the edge of the settlement, where Santia's leaned against one another like drum carts and children ran barefoot through smoke, she found what she was looking for. A broken barn, 3 walls standing, no roof, and the smell of rust and dust. A woman tending a cook feed and nobody gave her a sideways glance. Rebecca stepped forward. "You said to teach in Baltimore," I said, voice calm. "I can teach here too. The woman is not dead. Ain't no school here, lady. There will be." That was as she said. No one helped. She swept out the old barn with a tree branch. She gathered cracks for chairs. She used coal from the feeder pits to draw letters on broken slat. For 3 days, the children only watched her. Then, one by one, they started to sit down. By the end of the week, Saya la class, no pay, no lunch, no walls against the wind. But Saya the students, and that was an oak. What she did not know, what she could not know was that Weston Tate had been watching from a distance, and that on the 7th day walked his black stallion, saddle, the finest horse ever broken, down to the trading post. The buyer was from Arizona and Nepal in full in cash. Weston refused a commission, refused to name the reason. You said, "Take good care of him," then turned and left. That money found its way into the hands of the church. A sealed envelope, no signature. Instead was a note to fix the roof of the barn, a note for benches, slats, chalk, a rail bell. The preacher delivered it to Rebecca 2 days later. Sign only. Seems God's found you a quiet benefactor. She was grateful but curious. Later that afternoon, while passing the Tate ranch on her walk back into town, she noticed something. The corral was so quiet. She paused at the fence and looked closer. The door was gone. The space always stood was empty. She stood there for a long while. That evening, she went to Weston's home. He opened the door. Calm as ever, his eyes steady, his hands rough from the day's work. She didn't accuse him. She didn't ask why. She stood on his porch and said, "You saw him." Weston didn't nod, didn't confirm, and didn't need to. She stepped forward, looked at him fully. "You didn't sabe me," she said, voice low. "You gave me room to sabe myself." And then she turned, walked back into the fading light, leaving him alone on the porch, the breeze tugging at his shirt. He said nothing, but he watched her until she disappeared over the hill, used as he always did. The sky turned gray without warning, casting the town in a cold, dull light. Clouds settled low like the heavens themselves were holding their breath. A polished carry rolled into Dustfield, out of place among the cheap wagons and mule carts. Its wheels moved with purpose, not the hesitation of a traveler, but the certainty of someone returning to claim what he believed was his. The man who stepped down wore a dark vest. His boots shined to a mirror lamp. A gold chain crossed his chest, anchored to a pocket watch, checked with May design. His coat did not hold dust. His eyes did not seek permission. They scanned the townsfolk like it was reviewing a staff or a ledger. He asked for no directions. He did not shout. He simply walked to the sheriff's office and handed over a bundle of documents. A marriage contract, a letter of engagement signed in Baltimore, a formal accusation of desertion, and a petition for moral review of Dustfield's response. When the sheriff emerged with him into the open air, his tone was cautious. "There is a man here claiming legal guardianship over Miss Rebecca Hollis." The town quieted. The man didn't wait for Rebecca to come to him. He turned toward the middle of Main Street and spoke like he was addressing a courtroom. "She is my responsibility," he declared, "by agreement, by family arrangement, and by every moral measure. She belongs with me." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Rebecca stepped into the street. She didn't look shaken. She didn't glance toward Weston's ranch or the saloon balcony where the eyes were already washing. She walked slowly, purposefully, and when she stopped in front of the man who answered her future like a deed, she lifted her chin and said evenly, "If it was yours, you won't have to come this far." Something shifted in the crowd. No one cheered, but no one moved either. He held out the papers again. "The law is not optional in this territory." Rebecca's lips curled fondly. It wasn't optional in Maryland either. And yet here I am. The man's confidence flickered you slightly. Then Weston stepped from the side alley, boots steady on the wooden planks. He said nothing at first, simply approved until it was within reach. He didn't speak to Rebecca, didn't confront the man. He placed one hand on her shoulder, firm, calm. She did not flinch. Then he looked at the man who had come to claim her and said quietly, "She stands because she said she stole. No threat, no need, use truth." Spoken from a place deeper than pride. The man looked between them. For a brief second, it seemed to calculate how much power he truly had left in a town that did not bow to contracts written back east. And in that second he realized that already lost. The air felt lighter after the man from the east rolled out of Dustfield, but nothing had truly settled. The storm had passed, just what it had left behind debris. No one dared move. Rebecca remained in the summer room above the saloon. Her window faced the street, her curtains drawn at the time. The whispers no longer carried the sting of a recession, but their weight had not lessened. In the eyes of the town, she had been defended, yes, but not claimed, not truly, not where it mattered. She walked to and from the mining camp a day, taught the children we steadily out, and helped the church organize a place for the Maxire school. Her steps were even, her voice calm, but inside her something in between waiting and weariness. Weston knew. He had watched her from a distance on an oak. He found her inside the church, sleeves rolled, sorting through a crowd of slats and old books. They smelled of dust and wax. She didn't hear him enter, but when she looked up, he was already standing there, hat in hand, shoulders squared like he was bracing for a shootout. He did not greet her. He simply said, "It's Time," Rebecca blinked. Time for what? His voice was steady with that low, rooted tone that always meant it already made up his mind. Juve pat your death, fast your past. Ives too by you in town, but he won't let you sleep another night of our saloon. She frowned, straightening. I am not your burden, Weston. A step closer. Not aggressive, but unmovable. You're not a burden. You're my choice. Her Bresco. Not because of what is it, but how is it? No romance, no decoration. Use a plan stubborn truth. A turned and walked out, left the door open behind him. She followed. A rode ahead on horseback. She followed with her bag in the back of a cart lent by the preacher. No words, use the road. That's between them, but no distance. When they reached the ranch, Weston dismounted fierce. He didn't point her toward the barn or a side room. He opened the front door of the house and took her valise from the cart like it was the most natural thing in the world. No fanfare, no explanation. Instead, the hearts had been clean. The floor swept. A smell fitted water in the grate, and the faint scent of lavender drifted from the open window. A bouquet of wildflowers, yellow petaled, mounted in the brown, rested in a cheap vase by the seal. The summer kind of flower planted beside his latte guifes grave. Tommy running from the yard, dirt on his knees and opening his voice. Mass home. Weston did not flinch. He did not correct him. Rebecca froze. Her fingers still clasped the strap of her bag. Weston said nothing, only carried the bag to the fireplace and set it down. Then he pointed toward the hallway. You sleep in the big room. I take the office for now. She didn't argue. He added without turning back. We figured the rest in time. Later, she walked into the kitchen and found the pot scrub. A bucket of fresh water set near the back door and the table cleared. There was a folded glass, clean, and just, and beside, a spoon carved from cedar, small, clearly meant for a child's hand. It hadn't been there before. That night, she stood in the doorway of the bedroom. It smelled of sunrinings and alpine. She sat on the edge of the bed, her fingers brushing the quilt stitching. She did not feel like a guest. She did not feel like a replacement. For the first time, she did not feel alone. Not in this house. Not in the heart of a man who had never once loved her. Because didn't nito. The letter came folded in stiff parchment, sealed with red wax, and stamped with the insignia of a regional court. It arrived not by mistake, but by vengeance. Rebecca read it first, hands steady, eyes unflinching. Weston read it after her. Tate, the lines in his face deepening. The letter was a formal complaint filed by her former fiancé. It accused Weston of unlawfully harboring a woman under false pretense and coercing her into remaining in Dustfield. It was legal, it was called, and it was meant to scam. A week later, a federal agent rode into town. He wore a tailor coat, carried a revolver that had never seen Dustfield there, and walked like a expected compliance. He came to question Weston Tate. But the town had changed. When the agent stepped into the saloon to ask for directions, he was met with silence. When he reached the church to look for records, he found the pews filled not with prayers but with people. Mothers from the mining camp. Fathers who had seen their children read for the first time, the store owner, the old ranch hand, and children too, they had sing as mujer from the letters they had learned to write. Rebecca stood at the back. She did not speak. She did not need to. The preacher stepped forward, eyes firm, voice calm. That woman has done more for this town than anyone on your parole. The agent, to his credit, listened. He reviewed the letter. He asked his questions. He walked the grounds of the mining camp school and saw the blackboard, the desk, the children practicing their names. He returned to his quarters and wrote a single page dismissal. Voluntary relocation, no coercion, stable community contribution. With that, the file was closed. Rebecca was no longer a fugitive of promises never freely made. She was free in love and in name. That night, the summer storm rolled in. Wind howled through the canyons, and rain washed the dust from rooftops and fields. A fence post near the barn collapsed under the weight of the wind. After the worst had passed, Weston went out with a metal wire, working beneath a silver sky, still flickering with lightning in the distance. Rebecca followed, holding a lantern. She said nothing. You set it on the fence beside him and watched. Weston glanced up. His hands posed. His eyes met hers. "I never asked properly," he said. "But you were already my wife in everything that matters." Rebecca tilted her head, rain still dripping from the ends of her hair. "Then let's say it out loud," she whispered. "Not for them, for Wesse." A week later, they stood beside the Crevena ranch. The preacher stood between them, Bible in hand, his voice carried gently by the wind. Rebecca wore a plain linen dress, Hansiun and Summeleched. Weston wore a clear and white shirt, iron stiff but softened by his callous touch. Tommy stood nearby, holding a single sprig of lavender, face bright with quiet joy. There were no rings, but there were vows, words not shouted, not performed, but spoken from the marrow of gratitude, of promise, of choosing the other, not using love, but in the smart hard work of staying. They did not need a crowd. The crowd bore a witness, and that was enough. 1 year later, the ranch looked different. Not larger, not richer, but fuller. The garden behind the house was thriving. Rows of squash, beans, and tomatoes claimed the gooden lattice Rebecca built with Tommy. There were chickens now, a fence, freshly painted, and a line of laundry squatting like prayer flags across the yard. Inside the front room, the old parlor adventured into a schoolroom. 6 children came each morning, some from nearby homesteads, others from the mining camp. Rebecca taught them letters, numbers, and how to speak their minds kindly. Tommy, now 5, was the first to arrive and the last to leave. One afternoon, as they stacked books and swept the floor, he looked up with wide eyes and said, "We built this place, didn't we, Ma?" Rebecca paused, a softness blooming in her chest. "Yes," she said, "we did." Weston still didn't speak much, but he passed through the house like a steady rhythm. His hands fixed broken drawers, chopped good before anyone asked, and left warm bread on the table as morning. He touched Rebecca gently as he passed, a hand on her back, a brush of fingers along her arm, not out of show, but out of habit. They never needed to say they were husband and wife. They simply lived like it. Each morning began together. Each evening ended with the 3 of them beneath the summer roof with the summer silence that now felt like peace. One day, Rebecca found something new on the wall of the room, a wooden frame, uncarved, holding a single yellow letter. The handwriting inside was crooked. "Child, my paw is real sad. I think it needs someone who can smile big." A little girl with a missing front tooth pointed at it. "What does it mean?" Rebecca smiled, her hands folded in front of her apron. It meant someone believed love could fix something. Grown-ups forgot how to yell. The children didn't fully understand, but they were quiet for a moment, looking at the letter like it might answer something they hadn't yet learned to ask. That evening, as the sun melted across the plains, Rebecca sat on the porch beside Weston. Tommy lay between them, drowsy from the day, his head on her lap. The wind was soft, the sky stretched white and orange, brushing the edge of the world. Weston reached over and took her hand. He didn't squeeze it. He used to lead there like a mentor, like a good. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. The house stood behind them, warm and alive. The boy who wrote the letter no longer needed to fix what was broken because now they had built something whole, and they had done it by choice. If this story touched something quiet in your heart, if you believe love can still be chosen, built, handled with gentle hands, then saddle up and stay a while. There is more where this coming from. Hit that like button. If Rebecca, Weston, and little Tommy reminded you that family isn't always born, sometimes it's written in letters, 4 in stones, and sealed with a quiet carry to stay. And don't forget to subscribe to Wild Westlaw Stories wherever it tell a reader stroke dust, danger, and devotion, and always leaves an echo vein. We've got more untamederats and forgotten romances on the trail. Ahead, join us where bullets miss barriers inte.